Hello, 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 and welcome. My name is Kimberly Williams. I had such a beautiful, mindful morning this morning. Today, I'm going to talk about forgiveness. I'm the host of the Manifest on Purpose Mindset Show. You can find that show right here in the YouTube feed. I help you align your mindset with the things you really want in your life so that you can create the best version of yourself. That sounds great, doesn't it? Go ahead and check those videos out. Today, I had an awesome mindful morning. I also have a video on that. So if you want to know what the mindful morning is, you can check it out and start practicing that for yourself. During this mindful morning, well, every mindful morning, I like to go into conversation with my higher self. Not that this is the only time that I do it. I do this throughout my days, every day and at nighttime, but the morning times just seem so powerful. And the discussion we had today got deep, and I knew it was a conversation that I had to bring to you. It's about forgiveness. Because so many people are stuck right now in their lives and they're wondering what's keeping me here. Why am I stuck? They seem to be doing all of the right things. They feel that they're setting their life up and it's in place perfectly, but there's just no growth there. A lot of times they're holding on to not being able to forgive. If you know someone that needs help in forgiving or needs help in getting over not being able to be forgiven, share this video with them. Like it, subscribe to this channel, and go ahead and click the notification bell so that you can get updates. Forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness. We hear this word so many times. We hear it so much. What happens is, though, since we hear the word so much, a lot of people really don't look into the word to actually see what it means. So I decided to look this word up for myself so that we can understand what forgiveness truly is. Because I've heard people say, I can forgive, but I can't forget. Listen, if you can't forget, you haven't forgiven. To forgive, to stop feeling anger towards someone who has done something wrong, to stop blaming. And you know what? Blaming is one of those lower vibrational, that's on the low vibrational scale, blaming people. That's something you really want to get out of. That's when everything is happening to you. It's not happening for you, through you, or as you. This is happening to you, meaning that everything that happens in your life is because of someone else. It also means to stop requiring payment and to cease to feel resentment against an offender. To cease to feel resentment against an offender. Thank you, Merriam-Webster. So since we heard that definition, what that definition is really saying to me is, if you say that you've forgiven someone, but you're still angry with that person, if you're still feeling resentment towards that person, you haven't forgiven. If you say that you've forgiven someone, but you still can't be around them, you're holding a grudge with them. You just don't like them anymore. You have not forgiven them. If you say, and this one is a tough one because this happens a lot. You don't have to raise your hands, but just think about this. If you say you forgive someone, but every time you're triggered in the same way, the same identical situation or experience comes up to you, you have not forgiven. When you keep bringing that same stuff over and over again, you haven't forgiven. When you forgive is when you completely detach. And let me break down that word detach. When you detach from something, that doesn't just mean you pull away from it. You detach from the expectations. You detach from the expectations. That was so nice. I had to say it twice. Because a lot of times we feel like if someone does us wrong, when we give our forgiveness, we should expect something in return. That's a big thing right there. That's big-headed. That's big-headed. We think that we are owed something in return. And we heard that one of the definitions is saying to be forgiven a debt or to grant relief from a debt. Just think about it. If somebody tells you this is your debt, you no longer owe it. We forgive you. And then they come back next week with a bill. How would you feel about that? So we have to think about forgiveness, because a lot of times we think we've forgiven, but deep down inside, we have not. We use this word because it's a pretty word. It's a nice word. It's a word that everybody can get with. Oh, she's a forgiver. She's doing so well for herself. But you really know on the inside whether you've forgiven or not, right? I want to let you know that the question I asked was, how do you forgive when you are in pain? That's the thing about this existence here. Pain is likely to happen. It's likely to happen. Is it somebody else's fault that you're in pain? They just did what they did. It's up to you to how you react to it. Through your thoughts, an emotion came, and that emotion was pain. That's not that person's fault. That was your emotion. So to be able to forgive through that pain, one thing you need to understand how to go within yourself. I know a lot of people say that, go within, go within, go within, but nobody really tells you how to go within. When you go within yourself, that is quiet time for you. Like the song says, me, myself, and I. This is time that you should be able to sit down with yourself. You need to interview yourself. There's so many dimensions to you, so many dimensions. You got the spirit dimension, which is the universal God. You got that dimension. You got the soul dimension. You got the mental dimension. And you got this physical dimension, the one that resides on this earth plane. There's so many dimensions to yourself. So when you go in and ask yourself questions, you get answers. You want to go in, first of all, not why did this person do this to me? Don't do that. Why did this person do that to me? It's not important. What is important is what you're doing to yourself. Why does this make me feel this way? Why do I feel pain? Sometimes you may even need to ask, what am I feeling? And what can I do to move forward? It's all about going within. And we need to understand too that when we're on this earth plane, we're operating in this physical body, in this physical reality. Everything around us, thanks to our mind and body, is a perception of what's in our mind. What we see is not as real as what we think we see. Because I hear a lot of people say all the time, the dream world is more real than this physical existence. We see this world through our mind. So if we feel like someone has hurt us, that means we're seeing it the way we feel in our mind. So we have to realize that. And another thing that we have to realize is that I mentioned all of these different dimensions of ourselves. And we need to understand that we are all interconnected. And it starts at that spirit level, that God level. Everybody has the source within them. So let me ask you this question. Everybody has the source within them. So who are you mad at? If the source is a part of you and you are a part of the source, or the source is a part of that person, are you mad at that person or are you mad at the source? In order to be mad at one, you have to be mad at the other. Same thing. If you're mad at that person because you feel like that person did you wrong, who are you mad at? If you're interconnected with that person, that means that that person is a part of you. You can't be angry with that person without first being angry with yourself. You need to understand that. And another thing I want to talk about too is we're on a journey. I guess it's because we live in this microwave age. So many people come in and they think that you just pop it in the microwave for a couple of seconds and then it's done. Bam, that's it. So many people come in thinking that, bam, I go in this world, I'm born, I live, I have fun, and boom, I'm out, and that's it. They don't feel like this is an experience to grow. That's what we come here for. This is an experience to grow, and you can't grow without a challenge. So sometimes you're faced with something to make you grow. And with that being said, you have to ask yourself this question. Is that person that I'm connected to purpose to bring me this challenge? Not because they don't like me. It's because they're pushing me to grow. Sometimes you have to ask that question. Forgiveness is a pretty sticky situation because what happens is once that small seed of unforgiveness is planted, it's going to continue to grow if you don't do something about it. You have to be forgiving and you have to be sincere about forgiving. We're all human. That's another word that we don't look up. I love my dictionary now. That's another word that we don't look up. So I have taken it upon myself to look up the word human, of relating to or affecting people. Typical of people. You're people. I'm people. We're all people, right? If you're not people, let me know down in the comment section below because that's going to be kind of scary. But in order to be human, you have to be a part of humanity. What is humanity? It's the quality or state of being human. Also, the quality or state of being kind to other people or to animals. all people, humankind. Thank you, Merriam-Webster. One thing I want to point out about that definition is that nowhere in that definition did it say you have to be humane to someone. But, oh no, here we go with that but. When you hear but, something's not right. It does not say you have to be humane, but that person got to be nice to you first. That's not right. It means that you are humane. You know how to treat people. You're kind to people, whether you know them or not, whether you agree with them or not, whether you feel like you're right or wrong. Because guess what? Everything is all your perception. Everybody has a perception. What feels right to you may be wrong to someone else. Don't try to take away somebody else's feeling freedom because you don't like what they do. No, even if what they do is not agreeable, that does not mean that you're not supposed to be humane. That's what it's all about. It's about getting to humanity. So really, when you fail to forgive someone else, you hold your own self back. And it's important to know that. It doesn't hurt that other person. Most of the time, the person don't even know that you're mad. Most of the time, the person don't even care. But you'll hold on to it for 5, 10, 15 years through anxiety, high blood pressure, all types of illnesses, and you're wondering what's wrong with you. It's because of that seed of unforgiveness. And you know what else unforgiveness represents for me? Unforgiveness also represents doubt. It's doubt. It's doubt that they can meet your expectations. Well, I'm going to tell you the truth right here. You're looking for somebody to meet your expectations. The honest truth is nobody will ever be able to meet your expectations. The harder they try, the more they'll fail. And on the flip side, I want you to know too that you'll never be able to exceed someone else's expectations. That's not reality at all. So what I'm saying is we have to treat people human. We have to accept them for who they are, because at the core, that's who we are. That's how we should be. So, and especially like, I hope that you're not one of those ones that like to retaliate. Because some people are like, you know, this person did me wrong. I'm going to get them back. I have to retaliate. Wrong answer. Wrong answer. Let me tell you, whatever someone does, it comes back to them anyway. The boomerang returns to the thrower. That means whatever energy they put out there is going to come right back to them, and it's going to match that energy that they sent out. There's nothing you can do that is worse than that. That's what you call giving them a dose of their own medicine. However, if you're the one that's holding on to not being able to forgive, then you're the one that's taking the medicine, because you're the one that's being held back for it. You're the one that is holding on to it. You're just going to have to learn how to let it go. I want to share an exercise, a forgiveness exercise. I created this technique based off a technique that I learned from Dolores Cannon. I call it forgiveness is for me. If you're with that person and you feel like you can sit with that person one-on-one, both of you are willing parties, willing and able to forgive, sit across from each other, hold each other's hands. If you're not sitting, if you choose to stand, that's fine. You look that person directly in the eye and you call them by name, XYZ. I love you. Please forgive me. I forgive you. And that other person says the same thing back to you. They repeat that to you. And you continue to do that until you start to feel gratitude in your heart, until you start to feel love in your heart. If you can't do it all in one session, say maybe you're going at it for hours. Oh gosh, please don't tell me you're going at it for hours, because if you're going at it for hours, that means this is a serious problem going on. But you can do it on several different occasions until you get to the point where you're really able to forgive that person. I know what you're asking next. What happens when the person is out of town? I don't want to see that person. Or the two of you just are not in a space where you can come together yet, or you don't think they may be willing. Well, you can use your visualization skills. What you would do is go into a light meditation state, and you would visualize that person standing in front of you, holding your hands, you looking them in the eye, and you call them by name, XYZ. I love you. Please forgive me. I forgive you. And you continue to do that. And imagine that person saying it back to you. You continue to do that until you feel that release. When you feel that release, you can stop doing it. What I want to say is that a lot of times we think that that person is doing it to us, but really what it is, we're doing it to ourselves because it's the way that we really perceive the situation. And some people go through some traumatic things. I want to let you know that I'm not one of those people coming up here telling you, this is what I think you should do when you have problems forgiving. No, I've never actually had that problem before myself. No, the reason why I know so much about this topic, because I dealt with it so much before. I used to hold on to a grudge, and I'm still working on it. And that's what the point I'm trying to get you to understand. It may take some time. It may take some work. Because remember, we're still on this physical earth plane, and we're still ruled by these physical earth laws while we're here. So sometimes it may take a little longer than others, but always remember that person is a part of you. That person is connected to you. So whatever you do to that person, you're doing to yourself. Understand that. So I want you to learn how to love and forgive people, even when they do you wrong, even when they don't love you. That's a part of life. Everybody's not going to like you. Everybody's not going to love you. And everybody's not always going to treat you right. And I bet you your record is not spotless either. That's also a part of being human. But anyway, I just wanted to come out and let you know that no matter what you're feeling, no matter how painful it is, just know that it's not about that other person. It's about you. It's about going within. When you feel that pain that's so deep, Go within and ask yourself questions and start working on those areas. If you have an issue with your emotions, if you feel that pain, find ways to deal with that pain. Find ways to look at things in another perspective. It's for you. It's not for them. I love you to life. This is how you manifest on purpose.